That's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. Yeah. Yeah. We winning. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone, call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learned.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I am your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. Hold on just a second. I'm in the oh, hold on. I'll holler at you in a minute. So, anyways, here we go. Steven Crowder. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this broadcast because I'm not a fan of this whole situation. I'm not, you know what it is? Okay. I'm not a fan of bad faith arguments. I'm not a fan of bad faith conversations. Okay. And it is very clear to me. And you know what? Actually, let me just bring up Broken Blade real quick. Broken Blade real fast. Broken Blade, welcome to the broadcast, bro. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good.
I was just getting ready to say, I'm not a huge fan of bad faith conversations, bad faith arguments, bad faith conversations.
Agreed.
For those of us that are in the space, for those of us that kind of understand, could you do me a huge favor? Could you mute that? Sorry. For those of us that are in the space that have these types of conversations on a regular basis, these type of conversations are, for lack of a better term, and you know what? I'm not going to use any bad language either. They're just not genuine. They're conversations that are being made to make the other side look bad. They are being done in bad faith. There's lies mixed in with the truth. There is clever wordsmithing going on. And at the end of the day, the point wasn't for him to change his mind, but for him to just make them look stupid, in my opinion. And if anything, maybe also to highlight whether or not these guys are capable of having these conversations. I think that, you go to the barbershop and it's, like I said, a very relaxed, educational environment. And one of the tropes that get pushed on us is that we're not very intelligent. Right. So going in there, because I'm in the barbershop and I'm relaxed and I'm going to give you the yo-yo-yos and the da-da-da-da-das, right? Because that's normal when I'm just sitting around with my friends in the barbershop. But what it does is it solidifies this low IQ type of person, right? This guy didn't go sit down with academics. He didn't go sit down with a Tariq Nasheed who's battle tested in front of a microphone that could combat his poor faith, bad faith arguments.
And we both know why.
Of course, right? To just make us look bad. And so I haven't watched any of this. because it gets my blood pressure up. And I think that like the thing that we're talking about, like the real definition of black fatigue, like this is actually it. You know what I'm saying? Peeing on my head and calling it rain. This is where the fatigue comes from. This is why we live less than these other people. This is why we die of things like hypertension. Why are we dying of hypertension? We're dying of stress. In 2025, one of the leading causes of death for black men is hypertension. Like, what sense does that make? But it's because of this kind of stuff. Now, Uncle D just dropped a video talking about why these things are important. It's because they're telling lies. They're getting everyone to believe the lies and setting the table, and then they're passing legislation based on the lies. Right? Like, part of the reason why they got an assault weapons ban in California was because they kept posting pictures of black dudes in Sacramento with long guns, and it freaked everybody out. And so it was, oh, well, we can't have them having those. Well, we gotta, if they can have those, we need to ban them. But had they not done that, there's no way that there's too many owners in California to do that. But the only thing that would get them to leap is for them to be scared of something. Right? So these things are important, and everyone's trying to diminish what Charlie Kirk was doing. He was a propagandist. And propagandists get what propagandists get. What was Martin Luther King doing? Now, see, he was propagandizing for good.
Yeah.
Or for equality, or some level of civil rights amongst everybody. So I was going to prepare for this Broken Blade. And I was like, you know what? I gotta at least like muscle through some of this so that I could like at least go into this prepared. And I got no more than about 30, 45 seconds in. I had to turn this mess off. Now, I'm going to tell you where I got to, because we're not even going to get out of his intro. And then we're going to actually talk about what black fatigue really means. And then if we feel like coming back to this bull, also, we're going to try not to cuss at all. No bad words in this broadcast. No bad words in this broadcast, because I don't want any excuse for why it can't be used. I'm sorry. I know. I'm gonna have to filter myself. I know, but this is a little bit more important. This in particular, this particular broadcast is going to be a little bit more important for this reason. All right, so let's hear what's coming up. Okay.
You guys heard of the term?
Oh yeah, here, hold on. Let me see this. Hold on. This is for educational purposes, commentary, so on and so forth.
Black fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
White people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tripping on you. But these people in just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem. So white America.
So it spends several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
Where's the bird?
No.
Where's the bird? You're not stopping white America from doing anything.
You know what? The bird just burned down $4 billion worth of cities and 60,000 assaults.
No.
Does 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid, and the white kid does 2 to 3. Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asians than white parents? Why?
You said what?
Well, we're having real talk. Why do young black men fight in packs?
Why does the Klan fight in packs? Well, the Aryan Brotherhood. I'm telling you now, the F-bombs are coming. Understand this. I highly doubt I'm.
Okay, real quick, because you heard how he said that with his chest, right? What black fatigue really was, right? What black fatigue really was. Okay, the concept of black fatigue was popularized and defined by consultant Mary Frances Winters in her 2022 book Black Fatigue: How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, referring to the persistent exhaustion, frustration, and trauma of Black people experience from navigating systemic racism, microaggressions, and the constant need to justify their experiences. Isn't that what we just witnessed?
Mm-hmm.
Literally what we just witnessed. I'll continue. The term black fatigue specifically addresses the cumulative toll of experiencing daily racial disrespect and injustice, which can lead to mental, physical, and spiritual harm, as is often passed down across generations. Now, this I found was really interesting. Thought this was interesting. Mary Frances Winters' work. Winters is a diversity and equity consultant, which, you know, that's kind of bull, but whatever. You know what? Let's let let's let her cook, see what's going on. Noticed a reoccurring theme amongst Black workers: the exhaustion and frustration of facing racism, coupled with the struggle to explain their experiences to others. Defining Black fatigue, she formally named and defined this phenomenon, Black fatigue, in her book, illustrating it is that the extreme exhaustion and resulting illustrating that it as the extreme exhaustion and resulting physical, mental, and spiritual maladies caused by repeated stress from racism. Systemic roots: Black fatigue is rooted in the historical and ongoing struggle of Black people for basic rights within a system not designed to serve them. Manifestations and causes: microaggressions and macroaggressions. The fatigue stems from constant racial microaggressions, small commonplace slights and insults, and racial macroaggressions, which are larger, more public events of trauma, such as witnessing the deletion of multiple Black people. Take your pick. Workplace and social settings, including barbershops. It includes experiences like having to prove one's worth in a workplace or facing disbelieving reactions from white colleagues when describing their encounters with racism. Tell me that's not what we just witnessed just a second ago. News and social media. The constant exposure to news about injustice and violence against Black people also contributes to the overall distress and burnout. Now, that doesn't sound like what he said Black fatigue was, now does it?
No.
That's not what it means. So he's already started the conversation lying.
Yeah.
He's already started the conversation in bad faith. Now, do you think that he didn't pick up his little Google machine and do a Google search to find out where that term actually came from? Do you think he just ran with it, or do you think he just never looked? You think he ever looked?
If he did, probably such websites as Nigger Mania or Stormfront.
Is that a real site?
Sadly, yes, both of them.
Broken Blade. My mental health is not on the up and up. And then like this is taxing. The thought of this is taxing. You know, but it needs to be done, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know, maybe it's because I can't do anything about it. I have to like sit there and like listen to this guy try to tell me what it is, you know? The fact that they like
do something that we're doing it now.
You're right. You're right.
The truth.
You're right.
About the receipts.
You're right. You're right. Thank you. That made me feel, actually made me feel a lot better, believe it or not. Just in that split second, you are right. You are 100% correct, because he's already got caught in one lie. And we're not going to do that. Now, Broken Blade, first and foremost, would you even let this what do you think where do you think would be a better place to conduct this interview?
Maybe a black church.
Okay. Black church.
Or a library.
Library. Why not invite them to your set, right? Like maybe find somebody nice, invite somebody to he has a studio. They have a studio.
Yeah.
Right? The visuals on this, bro, are just going to make me want to just flip tables. What's up, Braxton? How are you doing, sir? Town Hall, City Hall. Yeah. Thanks. Town Hall, City Hall. But with people that are learned, that can have this conversation in good faith.
And that's Stevie right there, the blue shirt.
Blue shirt. Oh,
Yes,
Steven.
sir.
I met Cedric. I think I scared him. I think he was. Hey,
Doing all right?
Yeah, man. How you doing? Good to see you. I need it. You guys all have your beards nice and right. I've never learned how to do this shit.
It's because people come here.
Oh, I see what it is. It's a power move. You have me sitting lower.
Good. You should sit lower. You should sit lower. And it should be uncomfortable as hell too. Should have put you on a wooden stool.
Yeah, so we can all look down on you.
No, thanks. Well,
And you know what? And at least they stood on business on that one. It was like a joke, but not really. You know what I mean?
they said you guys got some people coming in here after the last one.
Yeah, a couple people came
They just
through.
felt like, I think this is a place where white and black people have conversations.
So it was funny. The first person that came last time was he said this out of his own mouth. He was like, I'm Indian, but he had on a MAGA hat. Okay. And he walked in and was like, hey, I saw you guys on Crowded. Can I get a cut here? Yeah, I guess so, man. Come on.
Did you have your hand on your piece? You're like, I don't know. If you can...
Nah, because he didn't come like that. He didn't have the backpack and the ski mask on. Yeah, he didn't have that on.
Was he nice? Was he good? Cool. Yeah. What do you guys think like when you see someone with a MAGA hat? Because I know we were kind of talking about that last time.
It depends on how they present themselves.
Do you think? I wish there were timestamps because I don't really want to. I'm not going to try to watch all this bullshit.
Temperatures have gone up. But what do you guys think? What do you think we are?
I'd like to chime in on that.
Yeah.
I'm happy you asked that question.
We were kind of just, and the reason was just like, often you see in news, people just kind of siphon themselves off right into an echo chamber. And I thought it was good. We were just kind of able to see other perspectives. Where do you think the country is now? Like with that? Like,
is that an open question? Or?
Yeah, race relations between, because last time I wanted to get your perspective, and there's a perspective now in the white community. None of us are an ambassador for the entire community, but things have changed quite a bit the last year and a half. Temperatures have gone up. But what do you guys think? What do you think we are?
I'd like to chime in on that.
Yeah.
I'm happy you asked that question. There are a lot of social and economic dynamics at play that have certainly gone, in my opinion, in the wrong direction. I don't think that people really understand the gravity of where we're headed. We are vastly sliding into an autocratic regime here. And I'll give you several reasons. You see, in order to have, you can't have a one-dimensional approach when you're wanting to continue to lead from a global perspective, all right? What you see here today is an isolationism approach, which has never worked in the past because we don't have an understanding of geography and history, all right? And I'll just simply close by saying, you got to understand something. The rest of the world is grossly infuriated with the way America has taken shape. And not only that, we're ceding all our best opportunities to China, right? Look around you in the relationships they're fostering with everybody else, which includes Canada, Mexico, and they've even gone as far down into the Latin American corridor, fortifying their bases while we're still hollering that we're the greatest.
talking about China, like in the Panama Canal?
Not just the Panama Canal. Let's pivot from the Panama Canal and let's look at the long-term strategy they have now, where they just signed an agreement with Mexico to build another canal bypassing the Panama Canal. And when you look at the whole transatlantic corridor, where you've got now Brazil and Canada as well as Mexico trading and stopping in Peru, where China has a huge presence at, circumventing completely the navigation, the use that comes with having to use Panama Canal. So we'll avoid conflict with America and just simply go around America. Is what's happening here.
Talking about China.
That was a very great point. That was a good point by that brother. Appreciate him.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, I want to go with the first part, autocratic. I think China needs to be dealt with, and this is the first time I was raised in Canada. Canada sucks. Canada is a dog shit country. Canada, the kind of shit we're doing, you can't do this in Canada. If you say something too offensive or I say something too offensive, you will be jailed in Canada.
Yeah.
Why do we have to go to saying offensive things? Right? So, okay. So like they can't even help themselves, Broken Blade. This man says that we are having, as a country, we are having an isolationist energy and attitude, and it's not working. Now, I tend to believe that maybe we should be a little bit more isolationist, but I have a strategy for that, and I can walk anybody through that conversation.
I have mixed feelings about that. You're talking America as a whole, or specifically FBA?
Both. Like you can't reach out. In my opinion, you can't reach out and do things everywhere else until you got yours at home. Right. Yeah. And you should never at any point be so exposed that any one thing can take you out. In my opinion. Yeah. Right. Well, right now, rare earths, which we absolutely need for most of our weapons, meaning like little bitty parts inside of the planes that we fly and little bitty parts in front of the military equipment that we use, is specifically what I'm talking about, what I'm speaking about. The majority of our medicine is manufactured outside of the country, and we're bringing food and technology into the country. So we can't support our own country with the amount of technology that we make. We can support ourselves with food, but somehow we don't inside the country. Yeah. And then we can't even make all of our weapons that we need to protect ourselves.
See, so it's not xenophobia to me as much as just self-reliance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that I do co-sign with 100%. Usually, most xenophobia is like a level of racism there, and like historically, like it does not work out. It'll have like a few years of prosperity, then a nasty decline.
Got you. I mean, that's a larger conversation, because we like cheap things. You know, as a country, we're addicted to cheap labor, and so the idea that somehow the corporations convinced the American people that it would be better for us to send those jobs overseas to make your clothes and to make your jeans and to make your medicines and do all the stuff that you don't want to do. It's like cutting off our nose to spite our face. And so I don't think isolationist in the way that we shouldn't deal with other people. I'm isolationist in the way that we need to make sure all of our stuff is legitimate first and we can stay protected. And that if anybody picked a fight with somebody else or got into it with somebody else or something happened, or we couldn't send a ship across the ocean anymore, or it was too dangerous or too expensive, then we still would have what we need here. Yes. And I'm not sure that that's the case, you know, and I think it's also hidden under the guise of, oh, well, you know, nobody wants to do those jobs, when in fact, people would do those jobs instead of sleeping on the street, and for a living wage. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I was getting at. But isn't it interesting how it went from, what's that?
You went in about patchy ass beard.
Man, I don't even want to look at this dude, bro. I really don't. Like, I don't even really want to do this. I really don't. because again, it's a bad faith conversation. I know this guy does not give like, you don't care about black people, bro. You just came down here to wag your finger and to look and try to feel superior. And I'm glad that this dude gave him a very educated answer to what he just said. But what did it get? What did it? So you've got this pretty solid macroeconomic breakdown being done. And what does this guy do? Oh, Canada's crap, using bad language, right? And calling and calling other countries bad names, right? Like deflection, if you ask me, because that wasn't what he really wanted to talk about. He really wanted to just say some negative stuff, which is what he's probably about to say here in a second. And that's what he wanted to. He came to the barbershop to be in the mud. Is what he came to do. Let's let him finish.
That's the thing. So I'm fine with the U.S. being the best country. I came here from Canada because, I have friends who were arrested. I have a friend, stand-up comic, was fined for telling a joke. I don't think people realize how good we have it here in this country compared to other countries.
But that's the painstaking part about it all, is the fact that, I've always been one to say, and I believe this firmly, freedom is not a right. It's a privilege until you wake up the next morning and find out you don't have it anymore.
Yeah. It also comes with duties.
Like, how did we get to free? How did we get to, you see what I'm saying? Like, he asked a question, the guy answered, but he spun that into free speech and language. Because that was not what he asked.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the number one thing that's going to trip these brothers up. They're going in assuming good faith.
And I think that if anything, if we can get anything out of this conversation, Broken Blade, for us and for anybody that's listening, is that the majority of these conversations are not being had in good faith. And we should just stop pretending to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I'm not your friend, bro. If we can do business, we can do business. I'll look you in the eye, I'll shake your hand. If we make an agreement, I'll follow up. I'll follow up and hold up my end of the bargain. But no, I don't want your bland ass potato salad. No, I don't want to meet your family. Don't care about your wife. Don't care about your kids. Right? Cut the check.
Yeah.
Cut the check.
That's what I was about to say. It also comes with responsibilities, because while we free to speak and say what we want, and I went to Montreal a few months ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bet you saw a lot of tits on signs. That's all it is.
No,
it's just strip clubs. Our Times Square is a giant strip club.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But no, like there is responsibility, and like everybody's from different places, different backgrounds. Some of us from certain backgrounds know, like, running your mouth too much in a certain space can get your ass whipped.
Yeah.
Like, you're free to say what you want, you're just not free from the consequences. Like, the consequences that come with you saying the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's
Now, that to me is a shot over the bow. That is a very serious statement that brother just made. Because what do we keep seeing over and over and over again, right? We keep seeing these white hooks and these YT people in people's faces throwing out the N-word and da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And like trying to, and he's basically saying like, yeah, people think that they can say, yeah, you can say whatever you want. But there might be a butt whooping coming.
Yes.
There might be a butt whooping coming behind that.
where we all have responsibilities in what we say and when we say it.
Yeah, the problem though, and that's I was kind of.
He's about to make an excuse for it, because I think deep down he knows that his people are always breaking that rule.
Talking more domestically, the problem with that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. Mm-hmm. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know if you guys were following the stabbing there on that train in Charlotte.
Just couldn't wait to bring that up.
Arenas of Roots. Last time I was asking where you guys thought we were, you know, as far as in the country relation. Like, have you guys heard the term black fatigue? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys know what?
Now, we just learned the definition of what black fatigue is.
You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
I'm not sure.
It's a term that's being used by people in the white community, by and large, again, saying they feel like they've been victimized and they're tired of taking that shit.
Now, what if somebody would have come right behind him and said, actually, black fatigue is was defined by a consultant, Mary Frances Winters, in her 2002 book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, referring to the persistent exhaustion, frustration, and trauma Black people experience from navigating systemic racism, microaggressions, and the constant need to justify their experiences. Kind of like right this second. The term Black fatigue specifically addresses the cumulative toll of experiencing daily racial disrespect and injustice, which can lead to mental, physical, and spiritual harm and is often passed down across generations, Mr. Crowder. That's what Black fatigue really means. Now, you and your white friends remixed the word to be able to be racist in public, but that's not what that means. But no one was able to say that to him.
You know, that was a girl who was dying alone in public. And that was a guy who was let out 14 times. 14 times, including violent crimes, in the name of racial justice, right? He didn't have to post bail. He didn't have to appear back in court. This is not the first time he's assaulted someone.
How do we know that was in the interest of racial justice as opposed to just being
the judge said
a attempt at justice, period?
Yeah.
Like, the legal system has its flaws,
yeah.
and people have been making complaints about that for decades, right? But that's just, to me, that's a mental health thing more than it's a black and white thing.
Well, I'll tell you why, because white people are saying it now.
Right.
Not white people are saying, hey, we're in the
makes it a bigger thing.
Well, because, white people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you.
Based on what?
Based on what, Mr. Crowder? Lies. Like some made up statistic. Like even your own FBI statistics don't say anything like that. It's crazy.
Straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Where? Like not in
the United States. I mean, we're not talking about Ghana.
And like.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, in white communities or in quote unquote so-called white communities?
Across the country, the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around.
That's not true. It's just absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. 12 times more likely to get, no, fool. No, it's 80%. You're 80% more, 88 out of 10 times that a white person gets unalived is by another white person. 80%, 85 for black folks. As far as statistics are concerned, almost the same. It's a poverty thing.
And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country.
And nobody pushes back on this. And that's the part that kills me, that nobody has enough knowledge to know that, bro, you're not even telling the truth. Yeah. Look, let me pick up my phone real fast and show you in your own FBI statistics that that's not even close to being true. 8 out of 10 times a white person is deleted by another white person.
Is arrested before they're brought in for killing.
Oh, arrest. See, now here's the thing. We're arrested more.
Exonerated more also.
Exonerated more also. But he leaves out that part.
Murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time trying to fix that than trying to complain about the white versus.
I mean, you get harassed over and over and over again saying that you killed somebody. Eventually, you go and just do the dang thing, right? You're like, shoot, I got to deal with y'all anyway. Might as well take somebody out.
Black of it all.
Well, I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit, at 12 times the rate.
Bro, all this dog whistling is killing me. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, again, what evidence? What statistics?
Like, what evidence? Like, you're making something up. He's making stuff up. It is not that there are no roving black people running around ending the lives of white people. It's not a thing. I guess it's not a thing. The only group of people that we have proof that they gang up and take out somebody else's either life, business, or home is y'all. It's y'all. Let's continue. This is stupid.
And our system, 3 strikes and
entire towns, countries. Hundreds of them. When was Broken Blade? When was the last time you saw a Native Indian, a Native American Indian, like the ones we, are you consider Native Indians here besides like us?
Literally one. He wasn't even full blooded.
I haven't seen an actual native Indian in
Half black, half native. He was a substitute teacher.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in like 15 years, and it was at an actual Indian like powwow event thing where even half of them weren't even like full-blooded Indian, but whatever.
California, right? That was the three-strike policy. The reason that was changed, they said it was racist. Crime went down.
Because it was racist. It was. They went around, they chased around black people, they planted drugs in the hood, guns in the hood, pew-pews in the hood, and then they arrested us for it.
In black communities, 30%. But now people are looking at their cities going, this is a fucking hellscape. And the murder skyrocketed because people said in the name of racial justice, like, three felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have, that's why I said those numbers could be.
How about you talk about how it got that way, though? How it got that way. Hey, Braxton, I'll put the link in in a little bit, bro. In just a little bit. I want to muscle through some of this real quick with Broken Blade here.
You and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods.
Because 12 times the rate is not true.
White people are not in danger, and that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them is that you're in danger because you're 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. You live in ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody tripping on you. But these people are just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy. Yep. That man was mentally insane.
So why was he back in
family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him committed. He told his sister he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep.
Therefore, he was a schizophrenic, and it was
We're not allowed to be crazy, Broken Blade. We are just criminals by default. Remember I said it yesterday, bro. We're deficient. Oh no, he thinks he's gonna get a win. I think Broken Blade and Cody, thank you for sending that, man. This is so stupid. I can't tell. I'm not gonna be able to do too much of this. But salute to Cody Marshall. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to suck it up and deal with a whole bunch of this. What say Craig come on Barbershop talking slick. I'm spazzing out. I got no combo. Man, ain't that the truth? I don't know. I would have. But I mean, again, there was no one there that could. This gentleman is definitely giving him some pushback, but I wish that there was someone there that could have given him some more specific pushback. Like, go into the FBI crime data from 2019 or 2022, which is the ones that everybody seems to be using lately, and show me the statistic that shows that you're 12 times more likely to be ended by a black person. Go find that, please. If you are going to get ended, 80% of the time it is from your own kind. I don't understand. This is what I do understand, though.
Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black. I'm saying people look at it, though. The judge
said it was because he's black. I didn't say it because hold on a second. Hold on.
So, but why was he back in family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him committed. He told his sister he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep. Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black. I'm saying
why was it? No, you are absolutely saying it was because he's black. That's why you said he got let out. That's exactly why. Okay, that's hardcore lie number what? You want to call that 3, 4, 5? 3, 4?
3. Yeah.
3. Okay, we'll call it 3. Right? 12 times more likely. 12 times more likely to get killed ended by a black person. What the meaning of black fatigue is.
Yeah.
And then you just gaslit the entire barbershop just now, 15 minutes in, trying to say something that wasn't what it absolutely was, what you just said a second ago, that it was because he was black.
And I see where I want to learn to argue.
Look at the judge.
He couldn't slip this past me. So I know that the Tariq or someone that's a Dr. Claude Anderson or somebody, they would run circles around this guy.
said,
part of black fatigue.
he's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Right.
Now, the IOU,
Deemed not fit to stand trial. So what are we even talking about?
Yeah. You
right,
should've been
the IOU
decided.
policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right, which is messed up.
Yeah,
Which
the
is messed
judge,
up.
Teresa Stokes, black woman, said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why he was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And that's policy.
But that's systemic, though,
That's
right?
not representative of a whole.
It's not. It's not. No, and look, we always have
Oh, wait a second. Whoa, Broken Blade. Broken Blade. Did you hear what he just said? All of a sudden, now we know what systemic means. All of a sudden, now we know what systemic means. I didn't think systemic was a thing. No such thing, systemic. Suddenly, now we know what systemic means. Okay, bet. All right. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I just
not all white people wear MAGA hats and are dumbass pieces of racist shit. But we have all been accused of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia. What I'm saying is black fatigue is white people going, you know what? I know I'm not racist.
That's not what it means.
At all.
Bigot. That's not what it means, you bigot.
Let's not forget also accused of pedophilia. With
Big
the stats
time.
backing up.
They
What's the doodle?
top the list in the old on the old PDF file list.
And I know that we're dealing with record crime. And I know that I'm more at risk. And they have negative interactions. And they're constantly told that they're not allowed to voice their fucking opinion because they're white.
Because they're bigots. Not because they're white. It's because you're a bigot. If you're a bigot and you say bigoted things, that's when you get in trouble. Not because you're white. It's because you're a bigot. Wow. Sorry, Broken Blade. Were you saying something? I don't think I have no more of this.
It's how. Again, I thinking back at a comment I've read on the YouTube video once. It's just salute, show enough.
What's up, show enough? What's up? And Sheridan, what's going down?
It's like he nailed it perfectly. The clitoris has 9,000 nerve endings, but it's still not as sensitive as the American white male. I was looking at some videos a couple days ago, just
I'm gonna steal that. That's good.
Look at like a video of the Philippines or whatever, and I was seeing like comments like "You catch it straight." I'm like, wow, like this video had nothing to do with black people, and you even like video about a completely different country. You can't help yourselves.
No, I can't. I mean, we really do. But again, I am thinking that, you know, they can't be living like, they're not really tripping like that. They're really not tripping like that, right? Nah, bro, we are living rent free in the heads of these dudes, rent free. Real quick, Sheridan, he's it's not that he's in that same bucket with Charlie Kirk. I think that he is trying to slide. I believe there is a conservative MAGA vacuum since Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. He got perforated, if you just, you know. And this guy seems to think that he can pick up the mantle, and he chose to go sit down at a barbershop to try to wag his fingers at us. Now, like I said, it's just disingenuous. That's all there is to it. It's disingenuous. He's trying to pretend like he's actually really having some sort of a meaningful conversation, like he's gonna try to, like he's open to having somebody change his mind or whatever, and that's just really not the case. And what's up, Show Enough? How you doing? And nah, man, I'm good. I'm slendering down, bruh. Now I got that, you know what I'm saying? Abby's is popping right now, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm slimming down because, you know, I'm trying to get all the, you know, try to get the that, you know, down. But anyway, let's continue.
And if those people get pissed off, like that's where we actually could end up with some kind of.
If those people get pissed off, what? Is that a threat? That's a threat, dog. Yo, who is this guy? You're not going to come into my space, dog, and threaten me. Threaten me with what? What are you going to do about it, Steven Crowder? What are you going to do? Because my bing bang pow works just like yours does. Mine's probably bigger than yours. What are you going to do about it? Steven Crowder. For real, dog. I don't like this at all, bro. This gets under my skin. This is crazy. I can't even believe these brothers. See how this dude is looking right here? That's how I'm feeling right now. Look, hold on. Let me find it. Where's the bigger thing? That brother right there. This one right here. There you go. Because I perceive that as a threat.
Yeah.
I perceive that as a threat. Let's continue.
I'm telling you, I see this brewing. I see people who were milquetoast white suburban who are becoming actually racist. Now, not all of them, but I've seen people actually become racist because they get mugged, their store gets looted, and nothing gets done. And if I say something, it's turned into a race. I'm telling you what, that's where it's coming.
Nah, man, them white boys, them meth heads is robbing you. Pedro Nim is robbing you. Sandeep Nim is robbing you. Meth heads.
Funny. Chappelle has a bit of one of his last few specials. First time he ever got an Umber Fudd. Pew pew. It was because of white folks in Ohio.
Yeah.
Meth heads.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my God. Oh man, showing up for real. You gotta tone up. Bro, I just had 45 and luckily I've been staying on it, so I feel good, but
at what point do we have a talk and go like, okay, let's reform justice, but we have to be honest as to why it was reformed in the first place. This guy, it's not even the only one. It's every 3 days someone's being offed.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's try.
Evidence.
is he? Thank you, Broken Blade. Prove it. Prove it. And again, it's your own people.
Transfer that over to, there's a lot of unsafe things in this world. Like getting mugged by a black person is not the paramount unsafe thing. There's school shootings, there's road rage, there's all of that shit.
Yeah.
And
Where's your daughter? Ain't you got some kids? Where's your kids? Is more likely somebody look like you that's going to take them out, is going to, mess with her private parts and stuff. I'm just saying.
the primary people that commit a lot of those are people who don't have this skin. No. So
so talk about that.
There's an issue of crime. Why is that not being addressed?
He looks surprised. You mean white people commit crime too?
But switch it over. If black people say, well, we getting fed up and we tired of all these school shootings and all of these road rage and all that, who do we say something to? Who hears our voice?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
Well, we've been
hearing about white, that's the point. Right? We've been hearing about it all our lives, about white fatigue, about systemic discrimination.
But y'all ain't doing nothing about it though. That's the thing, is nobody's doing anything.
Evidence en masse.
Thank you, Broken Blade. We can provide the evidence. Broken Blade, we watched a police officer coerce a statement in a potential deletion case and then falsified evidence and turned in falsified evidence on camera. And these people been tap dancing around the situation, tap dancing. I'm like, he's on camera falsifying evidence. He's on camera coercing a statement. The police officer is on camera breaking the rules. Look, breaking the law. Look. Everybody tiptoeing around LS. Oh, well, it could have been a. Oh, this is stupid.
That's why we've done systemic justice reform that's led to more crime, right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love.
Because y'all are still racist. No matter what rules we put into place, y'all find a way to twist it up. That's why. But see, again, all these people there, these guys aren't given the right. They're just not.
We're going to reform crime. We're going to reform the justice system. And it's gotten worse everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going, well, what happens when someone keep their mouth shut about everything?
Yeah, what happens? What happens?
The black pill wisdom, just because the law is written down doesn't mean it's going to be enforced.
Bro,
laws are plastic. They can enforce it.
It's not even, and again,
it's like on a whim.
You put, okay, it's like 3 strikes. Cool. Got you. But none of the meth heads got the 3 strikes. None of the trailer park dudes got the 3 strikes. None of these immigrants got the 3 strikes. Right? our sentence is 3.5 times to 5 times longer than the white man's, right? But 70% of the oh man, this is crazy. But this is that whole thing, right? Defending your this is exactly what she was talking about. Like defending your position is exhausting. Like that's the fatigue part. It's like I keep trying to explain to you how crappy you're being to us and how you keep twisting the rules up and you keep playing dumb like you don't know what you're doing. And it's exhausting. I'm tired of explaining it.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like, bro, to your threat, dog, go. You know what? It's nothing we've never seen before.
They're deeper than that, man. I've been doing some study of the chess.
Mm.
And one of the main concepts I see kind of repeating itself is keeping your opponent on the defensive. And the surefire way to counteract that is to position yourself where you can take the offensive. So you could do, or you could potentially risk more damage if they don't back off and move to a more defensive stance.
Yeah.
We might need to find out the equivalent.
Already in the works, my friend. Already in the works. Because the things that we have been doing collectively as a group have not been working. I don't think that there's been enough of us really trying to figure out what it is we need to do. I think that we needed to be a little bit more creative. I think that, not enough of us really understood how that whole thing worked, the infiltration side of things, right? We've been infiltrated in a lot of different ways. If you're listening to a lot of these conversations that they keep trying to have with Tariq Nasheed over on TikTok, like I said, I listened yesterday. I got a couple clips in today where I was listening, but everyone keeps trying to say that he's the leader, he's the God, he's the this. They look up to you're the leader, you're the leader. And they keep trying to get him to admit or try to say that he's a leader. And it's just in that moment where you go from being just Tariq Nasheed to being the number one target on, now I already know that the FBI is already on his bumper. I know that the CIA is probably already on his bumper. I know they're already, but see, outside of what he's saying, and he's very clever about what he says. He only talks bad about white supremacy. Are you white supremacist? No. Okay. Well, then what are you talking about? I'm talking about white supremacists. Are you a white supremacist? No. Okay, then, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a white supremacist. But he is really talking about you. And you know that he's really talking about you. But since he says specifically, I'm only talking about white supremacists and white supremacy, you have to admit that you're doing it in order to put yourself in front of those bullets. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, he's just a guy talking. And if there's nothing to what I'm saying, then why are you bothered? And I think that that's part of the strategy, right? No one's going to stick their head up and say, "Oh, I'm the leader. I'm the leader." It's like, okay, all right, we see how that plays out. Okay, bet. All right, and then putting all your business in the streets, right? Like back in the day, church was the only place that we could go and speak in private until they started blowing those things up. What's up, Sharon? He said, "Here's a play. Separation is key." Absolutely, and they're feeling it too. Like I said, man, look at all these protests and all these people out in the streets. You don't see very many black faces out there, which I want to go on ahead and congratulate us for. I'm glad that we have stayed out of the way, and I hope that we continue to stay out of the way.
Which is, I'll give a shout out to that broad you opened the last show with.
I think she got major heat after that. I think she got mad heat after that.
Yeah, she should have.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, she seemed to be like, I was doing some mad research. I'm getting ready. I might still fire that off.
Yeah.
Doing some research on her. She claims to be a black and indigenous blood. Like, okay, what, a quarter, an eighth, 25th? We know what the play is.
Yeah.
The moment the block gets hot, she's gonna claim something else and back off.
As quickly as possible, And she will, as soon as the block gets out, she's not black, nothing. Nothing. There's no black, nothing, nowhere. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let's let this moron talk.
That's how they feel. That's how they feel.
I don't believe white people have to keep their mouth shut. I think white people don't speak up about a lot of the things that they do and they perpetuate that affects us negatively. That's the stuff that nobody wants to, that the issues aren't made about those things.
Thank you, brother. Great point.
I really respect the platform that you have because you do have open and honest conversations. And I have to say, I don't believe that those numbers about the black people murdering white people are correct. I don't believe those numbers are correct.
What if I'm not lying to you?
If you're not,
what if I'm not lying to you?
Basically, you admitted you're wrong.
What if I'm not lying to you? You think that was a Freudian slip? You think that he accidentally told the truth on purpose or accidentally told the truth? Accidentally?
Then I've been misled and I've been isolated from realistic numbers. But I know in this country, from the time that we got here and until now, there's never been hordes of black people that just go out and maraud and menace white people. Now,
Facts. That is a fact. That is a fact. Shout out to Cody Marks. What's up, bro? How you doing?
interactions happen and things do occur. I'm not saying that they don't, but not by a large number. We can't be this smaller percentage of the overall population and still have the numbers that people try to perpetuate onto us. See, black people do more harm to other black people than we do to other white people.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You know, so
because people we also have historical evidence of groups of white people attacking and chasing black people.
So it's
coming after.
So when people say
it's not happening now.
So when
Carmelo Anthony. That was two twin brothers, 220 pounders, messing with 160-pound kid.
And that's the point. We're at a precipice right now.
That's a part of the historical condition.
Well, sure, but someone today.
Hold on. I wasn't finished making my point. You know, when like I said, black fatigue, that's the newest mantra that's been put out into society to make people think that, okay, they tired of black people. They tired of what you said, that we can't say anything about black people. We can't do, well, when you hold all the power, when you hold all the economic rights, when you hold all the things that make this country move, when you're in charge of those things, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what, I'll put it like this. White people got the firecrackers, we got the stem. That's it. Y'all got the power. The power is placed outside of the black community. We're charged with all the negative things. Those are the things that are really generally coincide with how people relate to us. The bad stuff that go wrong with this world is the black people's fault. We the smallest part of this country. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? Besides the immigrants that come here, we have been tasked with the negative, the criminal, the immoral. That's us. And that's what we consider, that's white fatigue. But you know what we do? We just say, that's just how it's always been. So we don't make up words for it or terms for it. So now you have a frustrated group of white constituents that feel like, oh, we can't say anything. We have to do this, we have to do that, so you don't be deemed as that. Well, if you wasn't that in the beginning to start with, there would be no need for the further reform or the feelings that you have. You can't say anything about, because you treated us like shit for so long, and people finally stood up and said, hey, you got to stop treating us like shit. Now that you want to feel like, you know, things aren't going in the manner that you want, now we want the right to keep saying those things.
What if your premise is completely flawed? And what I mean by that is, if we're trying to understand it, you said you have power in all those institutions.
Yes.
What if, for example, we have an entire...
What if it isn't, though?
Thank you, Broken Blade. Because it isn't. It isn't. So it's like, you want me to talk about some hypothetical when the truth is right here in front of you. Why don't you deal with the truth instead of some hypothetical? No, we didn't want to talk about no hypothetical. We were talking about right here. Y'all treated us bad for crazy long. We didn't have the right or didn't have the room to say anything or to really complain. We had no office. The police don't protect us. Our politicians don't protect us. So now he's gonna make up this fictitious. This guy just told the truth of what's actually happening, and this guy's gonna come in and give us a fictitious. Oh man, I don't know. I got about another couple of minutes of this. Let's go.
Generation of people, young white men, women, who if they apply to a college or apply to a job, they don't have a grant, there's no Pell Grant, there's no type of subsidy, there's no DEI initiative. As a matter of fact, they're likely to be passed over. They hold no institutional power. And when you say black people haven't done anything, when you think of this white person, a young white person, because I'm seeing some people become radicalized and it can become a problem. And then they see
another threat. Keep threatening us, dog. Keep threatening us. Keep on. I'm dead serious, bro. Man, please. I hope this gets to his ears. Please, I hope this gets to his ears. Somebody clip this and get this to his ears, bro. If you don't stop threatening black people, bro, we are going to push back. Not everybody's going to sit there and let you just threaten them. I crash out first. I'm notorious for it. I'll tell you, I've been in trouble. I'm notorious for it. I fight first. I ask questions later. I crash out first. I got a budget for it. I got an attorney on retainer for it. Dead serious. Dog, I kicked a bitch in the chest down. I booted this broad. Now she ran up on me, but I kicked the hell out because it was self-goddamn defense. Self-goddamn defense. Dog, this is like, this is a threat. Dog, I don't like this. Oh, this is white people going to get mad and then they're going to go out and start the lynching. They're going to get out and get their pitchforks and start the lynching. We don't want them white folks mad, bro. I wish you, man.
Billions of dollars and riots and damages all summer long, and then they go, why is this happening? Black Lives Matter, right? So they're going to make that connection. Now, they have no institutional power, but if they go into a neighborhood that's largely black, they're going to get this.
They have no institutional power. When white folks pick up the phone and call 911, what happens? Is that that's no institutional power? No institutional power? You right, Cody. You right. You right. I wish y'all could have seen it too. Because this bitch was big. Big old wide back. And I was shocked. You should have seen the look of surprise on her face when she was like flying through the air backwards. It's crazy.
Get kicked out of them. And they're being blamed for something that supposedly their racist forefather did that they have nothing to do with.
Nothing to do with it.
Situation about a white guy going to a black neighborhood and get stomped out. That's what we doing.
You think we're ever going to have unity? This is the problem. Unity, if let's say your dad's or your grandfather's and you walk up and you slap his teenager, you now have made that person hate.
Who's going to do that?
No one has done that. Like,
who's doing that? Right. You know what he's arguing with? Like, you know what he's arguing like right now? Like a bitch. Making up some off the wall thing and having an emotional response to something that'll never happen instead of dealing with the shit that actually happened directly in front of him.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
You for life. And that's what I'm seeing with not even my generation. Younger people are going, I had nothing to do with this shit. They came up during the riots. They've come up under DEI and they're seeing a 12-time murder rate, skyrocketing crime.
It's not 12 times.
It's not 12 times.
I'm going to keep stopping this thing every time he says that, Ness, and I'm going to say it. I can't wait, bro. Look, when I repost this tomorrow, do me a favor and for everybody share it. This is bullshit. Like, nobody's actually reacting to this. This is trash. This is garbage. Like, this whole thing is garbage.
Any proposals they make not holding institutional power shut down his race.
Now, why was DEI even instituted in the first place? Because for the majority of time that black people have been in this country and been free, we've been denied so much. Somebody somewhere had to put some things in place to provide access of some kind.
If you believe that, that's fine, but you can't tell that young white kid who had nothing to do with it that he should just sit down and take it, especially when they're going to kill it.
There is no belief to it. They can provide evidence. Crowder.
Thank you. The only person not providing evidence is you. Yeah, this is crazy.
For the longest,
the young white man that has not in my DEI, the young person of this generation that you said that feels they're misled by the being mistreated by the DEI.
I'm just giving you an example. They don't hold any institutional power. Young white people don't. They don't have an advantage.
You know what? If you guys, I found you know what? Let me just do it like this.
Absolutely, Cody.
These people, they all had kids, no? All these people have kids. All these people watching, right? This is probably some of these kids, some of these people's grandparents, great grandparents, right? Right. Oh, okay. YouTube wants to all of a sudden be, it's explicit. They want to hide it. Now, all be proud. Media containing triggering content. Here, hold on. These were troops. Armed guard and other members of U.S. colored troops took on a deceased body of William Johnson of 23rd Regiment, U.S. colored troops, a federal soldier executed by hanging on June 1864 near Petersburg. The soldier's arms and legs had been bound before his execution. This is one half of a stereograph, the double image on the card that, when viewed through the stereoscope, appeared to be three-dimensional. They made this into a three-dimensional card, y'all. This view was sold commercially in the northern part of a photographic series called The War for the Union. Photographic history. This image was doubtlessly chosen for its sensational appeal and also perhaps as a warning blacks serving in the Union Army. As the following caption indicates, the soldier accused of graping was made a public example not only to federal troops but to Confederate forces nearby. Both armies used
lie. The same playbook, man.
So, like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? Where are the reverse of those?
Great question.
Not yet, because they're young white people. They haven't advanced to where they're middle-aged white people, where the power comes. See, when black people, once again, when you got colleges that denied access.
And that was a great response, brother. They're kids.
To black people, you can't come here. Something had to be put in place. Well, look, y'all got to let some black people come in. Y'all can't just.
That's what happening long before DEI.
Yeah, you're right. You are right, sir. You are absolutely right. There was stuff happening well before DEI, and it didn't work. Still hasn't worked. I digress.
Long before black people were admitted into college.
Hold on, let me say what I'm trying to say. My bad, I'm trying to make it clear.
He's trying to do a senior Wences and talk through you.
DEI is just a new way of wrapping affirmative action.
Yeah.
Affirmative action had to be put in place because there was the access being denied. So the legislation had to be put in place. Well, look, we can't just exclude all of them. So somewhere along the line, they have to be allowed some access. Okay, that was put in place. Now, fast forward till now, those same things that were put in place for those people back in those generations that are still in place, they're not excluding people from getting to places they're just still trying to keep those doors open so that those black people that were coming through that door can still get in. Because if you remove those over time, we will be denied the access.
If a black person has lower SATs, right, and lower GPA.
I've had about enough.
Should he get in over an Asian or a white person?
No. The answer is no.
If all things are supposed to be laid out equal, no, you shouldn't get. If you don't have it, that's what it takes to get in.
No, it's not. Prove it.
Indeed.
Prove it.
But
it is happening, and I'm telling you, white dudes are pissed.
That's not the majority of what's happening.
It is happening.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're pissed. They're pissed. What the?
We've been pissed. Join the club. Like,
so
indeed.
So what, Steven Crowder? So do something. Yo, do something. That's how. Do something. Go ahead. Go ahead, Steven Crowder. Do something. I've already been. Broken Blade. I know I've been quiet, but I've been communicating, and I've been grabbing a couple of little things, a little trinkets, little things here that, some stuff here and there, and I'm talking to brothers here and there and doing stuff here and there. Preparing. Which I recommend all of y'all do. And as soon as I get my feet set, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to start snatching y'all up one by one. And I'm going to help y'all get prepared too. Because this is a threat. This is a threat. I did not realize this was going to be what it was. I knew that he had this conversation. I knew that this was whatever. But like, now that I'm actually listening to it and I'm actually watching it, he keeps threatening these people.
Yeah.
He's threatening us as a group. Oh, these white people are going to, these guys, I don't know. These kids are just going to get, they're just going to, yo, do something, dog. Leap. Let's go. Crash out time. Let's go. Come on down, dog. Let's go. Enough talk. Let's go. This is crazy.
As it relates to DEI, first of all, DEI has been more beneficial. I'm a former commercial contractor, all right? DEI and affirmative action have benefited white people vastly more so than black people. All you gotta do is look at the business ownership.
That's why white women out-earn white men right now. That's literally why white women out-earn white men.
Or what have you, and you notice that as long as that white female happens to be 51%, then she qualifies as a minority and a double minority because she's white, she's among the minority in business ownership, and she happens to be a female, right? So you look at that based on population dynamics, and that automatically tells you this whole thing about DEI was, number one, not as much targeted towards blacks as much as it was targeted towards minorities, which includes that LGBT, right? So when we talk about that, we need to really deal with the real problem. And as it relates to the riots, let me tell you something right now. Listen, in the black community, I'll be the first thing now. We do have intractable problems that are not going to be solved in one conversation. But what I'm going to say about that as well is the reason why the black community becomes so infuriated, all right, is when you see gross negligence of justice happen or misjustice happening and nobody does anything. When this guy kneeled on this man's neck, was going back to George Floyd. Look, if he
Here goes. I already know where this is going. And that's another thing too. Being in a barbershop, you got people moving in and out of it is disrespectful of your own platform, stupid.
Yeah.
Like you don't really want good content. Because if you really wanted good content, then you would make it so that everyone could be heard. Everyone would have a mic. Everything could be whatever. Like, you're not sitting in here having a good faith conversation. That's not what this is. Oh, shoot. Sorry, my man was cooking. I think that's where we were.
Population dynamics, and that automatically tells you this whole thing about DEI was, number one, not as much targeted towards blacks as much as it was targeted towards minorities, which includes that LGBT, right? So when we talk about that, we need to really deal with the real problem. And as it relates to the riots, let me tell you something right now. Listen, in the black community, I'll be the first thing now. We do have intractable problems that are not going to be solved in one conversation. But what I'm going to say about that as well is the reason why the black community becomes so infuriated, all right, is when you see gross negligence of justice happen or misjustice happening and nobody does anything. When this guy kneeled on this man's neck, was going back to George Floyd. Look, if he had done something when he was subdued and on the ground, what was the real reason for kneeling on his neck except to inflict fatal harm? It was. I can tell you exactly what it was. And I can.
Tell you why you're not recognizing the problem. Because the opinion polls, and I'm not saying right or wrong, the opinion polls have changed on George Floyd since I last spoke with you. You know why? All the body cam footage.
Because all of
which came out. You know what? You know why? Because he was there for 12, 15 minutes, asked to be put in the car. They put him in the car, asked for air conditioning, gave him air conditioning, asked to be taken out of the car. They took him out of the car. He wouldn't stop moving. People have watched now and go, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. You know how many times he was arrested before that? 9. He shouldn't have been. You know what would have saved him? 3-strike policy. He robbed a woman at.
None of these things are true, by the way.
No.
But this is why.
Why wouldn't the footage come out the day that the?
But this is why, though, right? Like, this is why the propaganda is what the propaganda is, right? Like, it's like, oh, you lie about it enough, you can change people's opinion. He's kind of admitting to it without even knowing that he's admitting to it.
Yeah.
gunpoint with a child in the house. And so white people look at it, young white people, right? Who, you have to understand, during COVID, this is a whole generation of people. White people did not have any fucking opportunities during COVID. They didn't get to go to the graduation, college, black, white, all of them, right? It's a generation that's pissed. Rightfully so, they got screwed. I think we can agree on that. They're going, I watched my city burn down for a guy who was arrested 9 times and committed violent crimes against women. What?
He was proof positive of the conversation we've been having for decades.
Isn't it crazy when the shoe is on the other foot, or at least the perceived shoe is on the other foot?
Yeah.
The shoe's not actually on the other foot, but it's perceived to be on the other foot. Sounds like you're just whining. Sounds like victim mentality to me. Sounds like victim mentality to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You sound like a victim. You sound like a straight victim. That's exactly what we were talking about that earlier. So that was absolutely correct. Once again, another threat.
Now, you know, that's a travesty of justice. He should be on the Let me see.
How many felonies does President Trump have on his record? Yeah, he was still allowed to occupy the most.
No criminal felonies.
He has no criminal felonies, but he's got moral felonies, which would, if there was a court.
So I'm gonna look. If you guys really want to watch this video, you know, because we, you know, reviewed the content and whatever, you know, if you like the guy, sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there because so I'm doing my part. I just think that these brothers they definitely kind of held their own, you know, but you know, I think that I believe they could have cut him off at the knees, but I just want to go over this one more time just to make sure that we understand. Again, Black fatigue was popularized and defined by a consultant, Mary Frances Winters, in her 2022 book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, referring to the persistent exhaustion, frustration, and trauma of Black people and trauma Black people experience from the navigating systemic racism, microaggressions, and the constant need to justify their experiences. The term Black fatigue specifically addresses the cumulative toll of experiencing daily racial disrespect and injustice, which can lead to mental, physical, and spiritual harm, and often passed down across generations. What are your thoughts, Broken Blade, before we you know, as far as this whole concept and situation is concerned?
Just a moment.
That's literally what it is, though, man. I'm like, so like, it's like stuff like this that makes me want to just walk down the street and just, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just a moment. Try to get scriptures spread away.
It's all good. And here I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and I'm gonna open up the broadcast for a couple of minutes.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right, go ahead. You must cam up though. Must cam up.
Now, how many lies did we get from this dude? Just like watching.
We'll call it 5 majors. Five major lies. Absolutely.
And this is from a man that claims to be Christian. Matthew 25:40 through 45. Believe here Jesus is explaining how people will be judged after the death. 40, right here, the king will reply, truly I'll tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Then he say to those of the left, depart from me, you who are cursed, the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison that you did not look after me. They also will answer, Lord, when did I see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you? He will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. There's so many of these white Christian nationalists that claim to be worshiping the Christian God. In their mind, they see black people as the least. And let's take a good look at this historically. Kidnap the people, rape the people, slaughter them for meat. Attempted genocide, robbed and terrorized. And on top of all of this, have the audacity to lie and gaslight about it. If you claim to be Christian, you understand the things that have been done to us, you have done to Christ himself. And the evidence is coming abundantly clear because their foundation was built on lies and it is crumbling. Made all these punk ass threats. But again, the person that popped Charlie Kirk did not look like us. There's been stories of people ambushing the police that did not look like us. What happens, Mr. Crowder, when this confrontation pops off and your enemies don't look the way you think they should look? As my pastor brought up a few weeks ago in a sermon, he believes all of this going on is out and out judgment. Hell, I've even heard Christians, not Christians, like people on YouTube that have been atheists, and people claim, like, for they lack a better term, they have to say God.
Mm.
You're still alive, you still have time. Change your course of action. That is, repent. Or destruction looms. I'll land my plane there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about, Broken Blade. How you doing, Cody Marshall, sir? Welcome to the broadcast. How are you, sir?
Salute, brother.
Oh, I'm fine, man. And I was trying to call you last night about worrying about Crowder. I see what was going on with that. Cause
all right.
that's
So real quick, how much did you know about have you actually watched any of his content before recently?
No, this is the first time hearing about him since Charlotte Kirk.
Interesting. So you didn't know about him in any of his any times I think he worked for I think he actually did at some point work for Turning Point USA. I think he might have been on the networks at some point. You had never seen him on TV or anything before then?
No. I've heard mostly of Charlie Kirk. I mean, I've seen Charlie Kirk. I think maybe because they put him mostly in the spotlight, other than Crowder. So ever since Charlie Kirk got deleted, he's next in line.
Well, he's trying to be.
Exactly. That's what I see.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's see. There was a dismisses hit with several charges, sexual harassment, abuse, resurfaces after cultural appropriation. I think he had a run-in with the police and mistreating his pregnant wife at some point, but I digress. Pretty sure I think they tried to they tried to get him. I think they had some like Ring video of him yelling or arguing with his pregnant wife or something and yelling at her or something, and it like hit the media for a little bit. But he's always been a talking head. So what would you have rather in this particular situation, Cody Marshall? Do you think that would it have made more sense to have this conversation somewhere else, or do you think that the place is fine? They should have had maybe some more scholarly men in there.
Yes, it should be a certain location, like a maybe a hotel, whatever,
Kind of a
the
neutral
convention for.
a neutral location.
Yeah,
Something maybe that looked a little bit more professional.
more likely that than to go into the hornet's nest.
Got you. Well, because here's another thing too, man. Like the barbershop is for friends. Like you're not my friend. Like we're adversaries. We're not like we're cool, we're cordial, but we're not cool. So why would you even this is not even the place for you to even be my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, buddy, like there's no reason for you to even be in here. My homeboys come here. You're not a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably are going to go home and put your white hood on. So why would we let you in the front door and let you sit here and wag your finger at us? That's stupid on their part, in my honest opinion. Right? Barbershops are for your people. You ain't even supposed to let the pastor in the barbershop.
Here's the question: if he likes to go in our barbershop, how would it feel if we go in their barbershop and talk about the same issues? It wouldn't go right. It'll go completely left.
Like supercuts?
Like a neighborhood father-son barbershop. The man's like 60, 75 years old, about to retire.
Yeah, I guess
that type of barbershop.
I guess there's a couple.
A little snip here, a little snip there.
I think there are a couple of those in San Francisco, like the old school barbershops. You're right. I just don't think that it was I just don't think that it makes sense to try to have a serious conversation like this in a place like that with a bunch of people that are not serious. And the thing of it is that, and we know what it is, right? That the whole thing with Charlie Kirk was that he was the part that everyone keeps skipping over again is he's a propagandist. Almost 3 billion views on his YouTube channel alone. Right. And he's trying to own. I saw a clip where he tried to kind of own some black dude that actually made a lot of great points. But the second it went like a layer or two deeper is when the man got kind of chopped up. And then what happened was the crowd started to argue with him instead of Charlie Kirk. And it's like, yo, you're never going to get a good look. Like you're never going to get a legitimate good look. Shout out to Jerome. What's going down? Say you don't want to go nowhere. It smell like they probably smell like they be cutting dog hair in there. Smell like wet dog and Old Spice. What's up, Braxton? How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the broadcast.
Then they
Can anybody hear me clearly?
You're kind of a little bit muffled.
Yeah, you muffled.
A little bit.
Yeah, you're muffled. We can let you switch it up or whatever. Sometimes it's the microphone. No FBA has ever gone to a white. Probably not. I know. So what do you think? Do you think that because I took a look and these two videos will most likely be his highest viewed videos that he's had on his channel in a long time. What do you think about that? Like, what's your Broken Blade? What's your impression of that? Like, so he goes home and in 2 days, he's amassed 2.5 million views, meaning that he's getting paid for those views. He's monetized, right? So over this one sit down that he split in at least two, I think it's maybe 3 parts. Braxton's going to correct me. 2, maybe 3 parts. He's got amassed to almost 3 million views.
Yeah. The part 3 video is on the way.
3. So there's another one on the way. So do you think that he's going to value these conversations? Like, because he's getting paid for them. Like he's cashing out. He's getting cashed out.
That's why, from what you just said, that's why he is going to value them. Is because he's going to get paid from off them. That's where his values for those videos lies at. The payment from it.
Bro, this one video already has 1.9 million views.
And it is a smart view. I mean, and it is a smart move on his part because hell, you got to get paid, some type of way, right? So so it's like, well, his business sense is in the right place on that, but his mind and heart obviously is not in the right place on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it does it not? Is the interest? And I'm coming to you, Broken Blade. Do you think the interest and the numbers come from because people actually care about what black folks have to say? Or do you think that they expect to see him own the black folks?
They expect to see him own and to also confirm their already well-believed biases.
Own and then to confirm their own biases. What about you, Cody? Do you think that the people, because again, these will probably be some of his highest performing videos, even over the Charlie Kirk stuff. Do you think that these numbers are coming from, because and I mean, I don't think he has a black audience. So do you think that people are coming to see him own the black side, or do you think that they're actually coming with a pure heart and they really want to hear what black folks have to say?
Well, what I see what he's trying to do, instead of, like you said, going towards the scholars such as Tariq Nasheed's or
we'll call it Dr. Claude
professors.
Anderson, because because Tariq Nasheed, as scholarly as he is, I still wouldn't, and I don't think he would even put himself on the scholarship side of things. I think he would put he's a great debater, and I'm only making this distinction because, like a Dr. Claude Anderson or Francis Quartz Welsing or one of our I want to make the distinction, but go ahead.
Well, he's really coming to the barbershop, not just he come there to bully, basically to pretty much nitpick, just to nitpick pretty much to see, okay, I'm gonna go to this barbershop to see how far I can push it. And not just how far I can push it, but let's see how smart these Negroes really are intellectually and how they can have a conversation. That's what I see in that. So he say, as soon as they start snapping or doing whatever, see, this is what I'm talking about right there. And make that as an example and say, and paint this broad brush picture on how we actually perform.
That's a great point. And that's a very great point, Cody. Show up said that you didn't get a haircut. You know what? And that's the thing. I bet these brothers probably would have done him up better than the supercuts he normally gets. You know what I'm saying? But he could probably look, white folks, they hate it so much, but they would benefit so much if they had a couple of cool black friends. Black people, we would improve your life so much. Now, obviously, not the knuckleheads that's out there doing the dirt, but that's, again, white folks got their own trailer park and stuff too. But white folks would absolutely benefit from having a couple of cool black friends, right? You can walk in and be like, "Hey, man, you're supposed to wash the chicken." You know what I'm saying, bro? Right? Look, Don't put
Don't let
raisins
the
in.
animals
Don't,
jump up on the kitchen counters.
don't let the animals
Right.
jump on the kitchen. Bro, you ain't supposed to be sleeping with the dog in the bed, bro. Ain't supposed to be sleeping with the dog in the bed. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm kind of guilty of that one, I'll say.
You know what? I wasn't even. You didn't have to put your hand up. We would have just assumed that you didn't. But I mean, you didn't have to. You didn't have to snitch on yourself. No self snitching around here, bro. No self snitching. I mean, if I can't be sleeping in bed with a dog.
Yeah, that's what I try to see. That's what I actually see him. He's basically trying to kick over the hornet's nest. He's going into the lion's lair to basically put his head in the lion's mouth.
Do you think I don't think he thinks it's a lion. I think he thinks it's a pussycat because he just threatened the whole an entire group of people basically.
That's the wrong place to do it.
Well, I mean,
he better not be no YNs up in there. They would have ran him off.
I do not. Can you? I don't. I hate
yeah.
that.
So yes, I guess in this case it was like it was more. It was like just two. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 younger guys in there, but they look like they was maybe around like 34, 35 years old. Yeah, but had they been much younger than that, with some guys that have a bit of more higher energy, I don't know how they would have went. But
well, look, we have to make sure that we don't. We have to make sure that we don't look. The days of crashing out for no reason need to be over. We got to be smarter than this. We just got to be smarter.
They already are crashing out on their end. They're already doing that. So
they are. But I'm saying that we can't. Right? Like we can't give these people any more excuses to treat us poorly. We can't. We cannot. Right? Like I would love for these cops to be sitting on the normal thoroughfares where they normally do. And every car they pull over has got black people, but all of their licenses is on point. Their insurance is on point. Their tint is on point, and they have no reason to give a ticket. And they just keep pulling, and to the point to where they're like, I can't even pull anybody over anymore. Like, I want these cops bored. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't do police work anyway. They don't do police work anyway. Bro, do you know that the majority of the deletions that aren't solved are white people?
Wow.
Do you know why that is? Because they don't prosecute white people. So if a white person gets off by another white person, then the cops don't really look hard for the person that did it. Unless it's like right there in front of them, they don't look that hard. So those people get away. Oh, but they'll turn over every rock trying to get us.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like in the 80s in Boston. White guy said that somebody some black dude like off his wife and like shot him in the leg. Basically, cops went ham on the black communities in Boston. Then they found out he did it.
I did it. They know they know what to say. They know who to put it on. I watched some mess the other day that some guy sat here and luckily the cops knew already that he was the one that did it, but he was swearing up and down it was a black man. So that they know what time it is. Like all these girls that try to act like that's another thing that I mean, look, I'll tell you, I used to be able to take down a Becky, no problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Now, man, I sit in the bar, I look across there and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. It doesn't even seem worth the risk anymore.
I mean, most men ain't approaching anymore now because of the
I'm saying even
harassments.
with the buying signals, bro, even with the choosing signals, I'm like, yo, I don't even, because the way I'm looking at, I'm like, man, I cannot believe I done messed around with so many, the idea that I messed around with so many of these demons and not she-heathens, shout out to Shono, shout out these she-heathens and not gotten hemmed up, but I've almost gotten hemmed up. I've almost gotten hemmed up 3 times off somebody saying so. You know what I'm saying? So
me too. You the only one. I was falsely accused, but it was an old white lady, and my mom was sick at the time, and And I ain't even touch it. I just say, hey, how you doing? Went to the other room. And I didn't want to stay in the hospital that night.
Yeah.
But my family wanted me to stay in the hospital that night to know the status of my mother at the time.
Yeah.
And the police woke me up. It was the Tulane police. The Tulane police woke me up because that's what my mom was at, Tulane Hospital. And they said, well, they say you was trying to rape this lady. I said, rape
We
her?
don't say
What?
that, bro. The mouth, the words,
Rape
the
her.
words, the words, the words.
The EPAR. I'm gonna say EPAR.
Oh, I got you. Thank you. Yep. Appreciate it.
You try to EPAR this lady.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? I just say, hey, how you doing? And got a couple magazines and went on about my business. Good thing the police was on my side, you know, or they would have tried to hem me up.
Easily.
I was in my early 20s then, you know?
Yeah. And see, and here's another thing too about that, right? Because people try not to understand this. For every time you have an interaction with the police, you're more likely to be arrested again. The numbers are exponential. We were talking about it back in like the school kids. Like for every time like any kid that ends up being arrested or having an interaction with police is like 60% more likely to get arrested again in high school. And then the number only goes up from there. If they get arrested twice, they're like 80% more likely to get arrested again. You see what I'm saying? So they know what the system is. They engage with they put themselves in front of our kids and torment the children in order to interact with them already to get them into the system. For us to think that it's not being done on purpose is crazy. Go ahead, Cody. What were you gonna say?
And Broken Blade, I know you're not. Are you familiar with this? And I went to kind of a rough school. It was so bad that we had metal detectors.
Oh man, no, they had metal detectors at the school, but there were like police officers. It was like one of the first schools in Central Texas. I think they have police officers on the regular.
Yeah, I mean,
those kids doing some goofy stuff like shit was kind of funny. Hanging out with my friends at recess, like these two Mexican dudes, like we all knew, kind of hung out with from time to time. See them come running in our group, like gasping for air, like doubled over, like heaving. Once they calmed down, we got the story. They were selling weed across the street. Then they got busted by cops. Like freaking idiots, man.
Yeah, no, we can't at this stage of the game, guys. We can't afford to mess up. We got to stay straight. We got to fly straight. Wear your seatbelts. Make sure your paper is straight. Like you absolutely positively cannot let these people do you in. Broken Cody, we're about to get out of here. Is there anything that you would like to add before we skedaddle? Anything that you wanted to kind of say? Any points that you wanted to make specifically?
Well, my point is, you know, we got to really keep our head on a swivel and watch out for guys like this because this guy is dangerous.
Yeah.
He's really dangerous. And he's trying to paint us like I said, in this broad brush to where this big generalization is saying that we're these people that this big target. Like, yeah, go get this person. Like, this is what. But good thing I'm glad that the brothers up in the, you know, up in the barbershop really spoke up and said this was really going on. However, he was just waiting to deflect, and that's the only thing. Like he said, he was arguing like a Karen anyway.
Yeah.
But the main point is we need to start speaking up on the positive parts of what we're doing in our communities, instead of the negative part, because that's what's mostly going on. You know, is all this negative stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the reason why we getting tired of it. You know, it's not just us it's just most of us that's doing straighten up and fly right and doing well and got our lives together, you know, making money, doing good real well and have our own businesses or whatever we doing. And making a positive impact. It's just that it's always the minuscule people, like population of us that's doing all the negative stuff, and we need to pretty much focus on the positive, and that's the thing that we need to do, because that's what they really like to hear is the negative, because this country was built on violence. Let's be honest.
Understood.
This country was built on violence.
So, but here's a question. I hate to interrupt you, but I just thought of something. Okay, so here's the thing. So we've got these YT people spinning out, right? And they're pushing these false narratives publicly on all these social media platforms, right? Does it make sense for us to continue to mind our own business and not push back on any of that stuff? Or do we need to make a concerted effort to push back on some of that stuff? Right? Like, I understand that it's not true, but if there's nobody to stand up and say, hey, that thing that you kept saying over and over and over again, that's not true, then everyone is allowed to believe that what they're saying was correct. You see what I'm saying? And then it serves its purpose, because its purpose was to propagandize. Its purpose was to touch 2 million people with one video, and there's another 2 coming behind it. See what I'm saying?
You know, I kind of agree with what you're saying, because there's a situation.
I'm not saying one way or another. I'm just asking you, which do you think makes more sense? Do we just ignore it and go on about our business, or do we actually make a focused effort to combat the propaganda?
Well, that's a great question, because that's it's vice versa, because we can either mind our own business and show by our actions, whereas trying to talk it out, that might not make no difference, maybe. But as far as like showing you it's by action. It's always action. Action is something that we need to do more than trying to say, like, respond to it and say, this is, see, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. I see what you're doing right there. Like, that's one example with Austin Holloman up in when he was in Kenya, and they had this guy, some guy that did something to one of the Kenyans, and now every girl spoke out and say that Austin Holloman and all these other people are bad people. And Austin Holloman started to respond to it. However, he should have never did that, but he did it anyway, right?
He responded.
Right. So the best sometimes is to not respond to it, like you said. It's always our actions proven or proven otherwise.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, show instead of trying to talk about it.
Okay, that's interesting. Broken Blade, what do you think, man? I'm gonna pose the same question to you. Do you think, because again, in this propagandist world, and I guess me and you are in a slightly different, more unique situation, because this is what we do regularly. But for the average Black person, do you think it, and when I say Black person, I'm going to say a foundational Black American, do you think that it makes more sense for them to just work on themselves, put all this stuff out, not even pay attention on it, and make sure that their stuff is straight? Or do you think that there still needs to be some sort of an effort to combat the propaganda, have put forth some anti-propaganda?
Hope for the best, expect the worst. I'd say both are needed.
Both are needed. Okay.
Prepare yourself with absolutely, in case you might find those. I have seen some TikToks recently, like people that were former white supremacists that had their wake up. Okay, yeah, this is some bullshit. So the counter propaganda can work, but at the same time, like, be ready.
Yeah. Braxton, what about you, bro? And before we get up out of here, so I'm going to pose the same question to you, and I'm going to let you close us out. What do you think that it makes more sense for, just the average, regular, foundational Black American that's just kind of doing their thing? Do you think it makes more sense for them to kind of push back and provide some, some propaganda, anti-propaganda, some pro-black propaganda to combat what this guy is saying? Or do you think it makes more sense for them to ignore it altogether and just make sure that their stuff is straight individually?
Well, I say it's a bit of in between of both, because some things are just, because some of the things they bring up is not really worth talking about. But opposed to when they come like directly like what Crowder did in his video, and with those other boys, he went to some HCBU. To some HBCU.
Yep.
Yeah, you and did now. Okay, now them wearing their MAGA hats is all fine, but their signs saying that DEI was this and this and that or something, because they knew exactly what they were doing. Now they can go there for debates if they wanted to, because in a way, because in a way, one, if black people are so violent and dangerous and blah blah, so why are you going to go to why are you going to take yourself to to one of those hostile hotspots? And also they did what Kirk should have did when he was living. He should have went to to a black college campus, and all. But some conversations are worth engaging in, and some are not, because as far as the other stuff goes, when have black people not pushed back, and when have black people not minded their own business? So it's always been going. But as far as I've been seeing it's always been happening both ways, either or is here. So my thing would be to FBAs is to continue to do what you've been doing.
That's what because we are so you think overall, for the most part we are making progress?
Yes, definitely are, because because now because even though he went to a barbershop, the guys there, they still did pretty well. Now, and I say now for the guy who was blind, now he was more of the leader of that pack, so and he did extremely well.
Got you. Okay, that's fair, man. Like I said, I sometimes, because we're in it, you wonder how much regular people are being affected by it. And I just know that some of these narratives that these people are pushing will catch fire, and they create policy around it. You see what I'm saying? And they have successfully taken black fatigue, which wasn't even what it actually meant. And from the time
in the end still.
Yeah, and from the time she created the book, wrote the book in 2002, here we are almost out of 2025. So in the 3 years time, these people have taken a phrase a lot like BLM and switched it and turned it into something else. And I think part of the reason why they were able to do that was because there weren't enough of us pushing back against what it really was. Now, we allowed BLM to get infiltrated and then turned, and then since black people didn't care about it anymore because we realized what it was, white people used it as a piñata, and they think that they're saying something when they're like, BLM, and we're like, yeah, that's not even black people, that's like the gays and the trans and whatever, it's not even black people anymore. But they don't know that though, because our name is in the phrase. You see what I'm saying? So they don't know that they're not talking about us. They think they're talking about us, but they don't know that we're talking about us. And since we don't have an attachment to it, we don't defend it, but they're actually meaning us when they say it. You see what I'm saying? Like, which is why I say, that's why I think that sometimes there's times for us to stand up and have some sort of anti-propaganda or propaganda, and sometimes not. Thank you guys so much for coming through and hanging out, man. I really, truly appreciate you, for real. Show enough, man. I'm gonna hit you. Also, shout out to the International Quiet Storm. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you up in here. Like I said, we're gonna try to be a little bit more regular. Show enough, man. I'm gonna hit you up, bro. Help you with some with some rehab stuff for you, some things that maybe you could do to rehab and get you back on track again, man. Back injuries and injuries are messed up. Believe it or not, at the beginning of the summer, part of the reason why I went down to Southern California was a truck driver ran my mom off the road, and she ended up having a brain bleed behind that. So, these truckers are dangerous now. I spent all summer on the road. I was on the road all summer, and I've seen more Indians in truck stops than I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, just sand deeps, and like I'm like, yo, this is what the, you know what I'm saying? Usually it's like pot belly white dudes, and the black brother with his gloves on with no fingers on it, with the with the headset on.
Are you talking about Native American? Are you talking about Native American?
No,
Indians?
I'm talking about
the Indians, the Indian guys, the Mumbai guys.
Okay.
I'm just making a U-turn. I don't know. I don't know, buddy. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I just did a U-turn.
Okay.
I just did a U-turn. I don't know. Bro, did that guy that killed that deleted those people in Florida made that U-turn
directly to California?
Yeah, sure was directly in front of a U-turn sign, like U-turn sign, and he was crashed right behind it, where the 3 people ended up dying in that thing, man. So there's been a lot of them guys on the road. I think that there's hundreds of thousands of false CDLs that are out that got put out over the last couple of years, over the last 4 years. I think it's a bigger thing that it's a larger thing than we think. I think what was happening was that these guys were bringing guys over, putting them on visas, like kind of white people in them through the DMV, and they were putting them up in Airbnbs and small apartments. So they were having them live together and then sending them out in pairs and taking money off the top. That was keeping the rates down. So truckers like us, like, some of the guys that we know that drive trucks couldn't get, either the rates were super, super low, or they couldn't get jobs at all. So, yeah, bro, thank you guys so much. Like I said, man, and like I said, and here's what I'll do for the International Quiet Storm, because that's my brother from another mother. Salute to you, bro. And again, man, everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. Over 1,800. We're fighting ourselves. We're fighting out of YouTube purgatory, y'all. We're gonna fight out. We're gonna push hard to get to 2,000. We're gonna push hard to get to 2,000. So, do me a favor. I imagine anybody that's still watching, you guys are already subscribed. So thank you guys so much. And like I said, on the way in or on the way out, just hit that like button. We're just over here trying to do the YouTube thing, but trying to keep ourselves out of trouble. Yeah, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot, bro. There's a thing. I was all up and down the highway, all the way from here, all the way through Texas into Louisiana, and I saw more of them in truck stops than I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, there was a whole bunch of them. Like I said, usually you see a bunch of like pot belly, gray haired white men, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, brother with the with the glove, with the big glove.
Yeah.
Nah, I saw
most of my friends I went to school with drive trucks.
I saw a whole bunch of turbines, bro. Whole bunch of turbines. Anyways, man, thank you guys so much. I really truly appreciate you. And hold on, let me find it. And looks like Broken Blade and I and the rest of my brothers, we'll catch you guys on the next one. We out. Peace.
Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning.